There is no shortage of saltwater fishing destinations to choose from. You can cast from the sands of your local beach or the planks of a pier, or you can take a kayak, canoe, or boat out onto the open ocean. You're on the right track as long as you're in the ocean and using saltwater fishing gear. Ultimately, where to fish is a combination of personal preference and the type of fish you want to catch. Saltwater fishing types. Surf fishing. Surf fishing involves either standing on the beach or wading into the water. You might be surprised at the variety of fish you can catch off the shoreline when you first start out, but aside from deep-sea game fish, you can actually catch a great variety of saltwater fish without ever going out into the ocean. This makes it an excellent starting point for many beginners, and it is simple to learn. Backwater and flats fishing. If you're up for some hard fights with game fish like tarpon, head out on a flats boat, skiff, or kayak for some inshore backwater and flats fishing. These locations will feel comfortable and familiar to a freshwater angler who is just getting into saltwater fishing or an intermediate level angler. These inshore waters are home to a variety of species, including flounder, speckled trout, and redfish. Pier fishing. Pier fishing may not be as exciting as other types of saltwater fishing, but it's an excellent way to introduce a new angler to saltwater fishing or to relax for a seasoned angler. Pier fishing is less dependent on weather, and you don't need as much extra gear as you would in a kayak or on a boat. That being said, timing is everything. Before you go pier fishing, you should check the tides to see when the most fish will be swimming near the pier, increasing your chances of catching one. Saltwater fishing equipment. Your saltwater fishing equipment can literally make or break your saltwater fishing experience, and it will differ depending on where and when you saltwater fish. From saltwater fishing rods and reels to clothing, your equipment can make your experience a lot more enjoyable and successful. Saltwater rods and reels. Choosing a saltwater rod and reel is determined by whether you intend to fish with metal jigs, troll, or bait cast, where you intend to fish, and the type of fish you hope to catch. There are several things to keep in mind. 1. Longer rods will cast farther, while shorter rods will be more powerful when fighting the fish. 2. When you see the term power on a rod, it refers to the amount of weight the rod can lift. 3. Match the line weight of your rod to the reel. If a rod says 8 to 12 pounds, you should be able to fight a fish with reasonable drag without breaking the rod. For example, you should not run 50 pounds mainline and a 30 pounds leader with an 8 to 12 pounds rod. Saltwater fishing tools. There are 4 saltwater fishing tools you should bring with you no matter where you plan to go saltwater fishing. 1. To land the fish, use saltwater gaffs and nets. These also make catch and release fishing easier and safer. 2. To cut wire, remove hooks, and tighten knots, use saltwater pliers and scissors. Learn to tie saltwater fishing knots. 3. Knives for cutting bait or cleaning fish in saltwater. 4. A saltwater hook remover to make hook removal faster and safer. Saltwater fishing baits. The type of saltwater fishing bait you use is largely determined by how the fish you want to catch feeds. This takes into account 3 factors: scent, sound, and movement. When you combine these 3 factors, you should be able to determine what type of bait you need to use to effectively attract the fish to your line. When it comes down to it, local anglers are more knowledgeable about saltwater fishing than any general guide. Once you've decided on a location and a species, talk to other fishermen in the area at bait and tackle shops, on the shore, or on the pier to see what they're doing to get successful strikes. Remember that every fisherman has his or her own preferences, and not every bait will be as effective on any given day, so don't be afraid to experiment. Thanks for watching. For more content like this, like, share, and subscribe.